Okay, so here's what happened. Today, it turns out it was a snow day because Hamilton got a heck of a lot of snow and McMaster actually decided to cancel classes, which is apparently a rare thing, not that I would particularly know. Anyway, so I wound up having tea with one of my friends. And it turns out that blueberry tea contains black tea, which is caffeinated. And it also turns out that I, who am already very easily affected by caffeine, and who is also very easily affected by snow, should not have both of these at the same time. So caffeine plus fluffy snow equals, I decided, let's go downtown and take the camera and see what happens, because I was in the mood for adventure and couldn't think of anything else to do, didn't have any errands that I particularly needed to run. So I am now walking down Main Street, attempting to camera myself, although I cannot actually see whether or not I'm getting myself in the frame. And we're gonna see what happens, and I'm going to try to speak over the volume of cars, and also attempt to not get hit by one in the efforts of crossing the road, which is why I'm waiting for the light. And actually, they still have all the Christmas lights up, which is very pretty, so here. Yes, very pretty lights. So, yeah, don't entirely know what I'm going to wind up doing in this video, but we will see what happens. So, here is Gore Park, which is where I intended to go, because it is not the little suburbs that I usually hang around in, because that's where I live. And there are pretty statues, including a lion who is currently being blinded by snow. So, yes. Awesome statues. That's one thing that I want to make sure I have wherever I wind up living, is some awesome statues nearby. Because they're just so... I'm going to stop saying awesome 5 times in the same sentence. They're very awe-inspiring, because it's not often that you see something on such a grand scale. Not me, anyway, but this is someone who's lived in the cornfields, where the biggest thing you usually see is a tractor. Anyway, so yeah. Let's see what happens. I did not plan this particularly well, because the hand warmers that I brought are mittens. And thick mittens and small cameras do not generally get along very well. So I've got a bare hand holding this camera, and it's getting very cold. So I will probably have to switch occasionally. But yes, so much snow. So much snow and nothing to make out of it, because it's powder. You cannot do a thing with powder, except kick it and roll around in it, and occasionally build it up into thick enough piles that you have something resembling a fort. And I'm going to cut this way so that I'm not running into people while trying to blog. But no, I mean, I'm a little bit sad, because I have not built a snow person or a snow fort. I've scarcely made a snowball all winter, and it's just a little bit sad, because that's what you do in winter. In summer, you jump in water. In winter, you make things out of snow. But winter thus far has not been build-friendly. I apologize for the significant amount of noise, but this is what happens when you try to film downtown, which again, was not entirely thought out, but I really wanted to come here, because it's interesting to me. So, yes. So far, not much is happening, but hopefully we will see something else, and hopefully you're at least getting some interesting background, and hopefully not getting seasick from the walking and filming, and hopefully I've actually got my face somewhat centered in this thing, not that I can tell. Yeah. So, mostly still just a lot of snow. But the sidewalks out here are plowed, which is great, because I was trying to walk in residential sidewalks, and any time a person had not shoveled in front of their house, you were slipping and sliding all over the place, and excuse me, I had to twist an ankle. Yes, looking for something interesting that I can comment on. Oh, here's something. All these empty buildings. It's just something that I find a little bit sad about a place that just has a great big for lease sign on it. Because on the one hand, it's a new potential. Like something else could come in there, get a brand new start. But on the other hand, until something else comes in there, it's wasted potential. It's just sitting there, waiting for something to happen to it, and like just gathering dust in the meantime. And there's just something sort of sad about that. Because I mean, that white one right there, beautiful building. And yet, nothing happening. Beautiful little white building, great design on the front, and just empty. It's a little bit sad. I don't know, that's my opinion. And another statue of, who are you? I seem to recall you being Mr. Hamilton himself, but I can't see the inscription from here. Ugh. And I still can't read the inscription, and I'm about to go knee-deep. There's a bus right behind me, it's probably thinking I'm very strange. I still can't read this. Nope, not a clue. I can't read this in this light. Well, anyway, let's see if I can get back down here with some degree of grace. And it's entirely probable that someone is wondering what the heck I'm doing like this. For instance, that guy who just walked past me. But you know what? I am of the opinion that if you enjoy it, and it's not necessarily making people uncomfortable, then what's the harm in it? So I am walking around downtown holding a video camera up to my face. So what? I am still entertaining myself and really enjoying this view, because as it's getting darker, all these little twinkle lights are becoming more and more evident. And once again, I apologize for the copious amounts of noise, and I hope you can hear me at all. So hopefully I'm not just chattering and leaving this only to lip readers. Hopefully I'm even leaving it to lip readers at all, because if you can't even see my face, then this whole video just got very silly. But no, I mean, this is something that some people might consider odd, but there's no harm in it. I'm enjoying myself, so what does it matter? And so here, there's another big building, and it's boarded up. It's been boarded up for as long as I know. In fact, according to a history tour I got here back in October, it's been boarded up for many years. And let's just set aside, because entirely huge building with so much potential, and it's just completely boarded up. All the signs are broken. There's some graffiti on the wall, which is just sad, because that looks like really nice marble. And yeah, all it has is gray cardboard on... Cardboard? What's that called? Wood, whatever. Some form of wood on the windows. And a whole bunch of dead light bulbs around the end of the sign, which is sad. And look, that's Sapporo. I didn't know that was over here. Cool. I'm learning this city more. Yeah. I've always kind of wanted to do something like this. I've always thought, like, let's just walk down Main Street and look at all the stores, because there's so many, and usually I'm just driving past them. And usually I'm even too busy looking at the traffic and trying to not get schmucked by some taxi driver. No offense to taxi drivers, just some of them are very aggressive about changing lanes, and it makes me nervous. But I never really get to look at all these stores, so it's sort of interesting to go along here now and get a decent look at them. And I have to switch hands again, because my hands are cold. Because it's... Actually, for what the Weather Network says the temperature is, it's not bad, because they say it feels like minus 15, but I would put this at more like minus 5. But maybe that's just me. More to comment on. Not much at the moment. I've got a bunch of office buildings on my right, and I've got some empty stores and a leather store on my left. Not much going on. And actually, I'm getting a little thirsty. So I might take this video to Tim Hortons at some point. Get myself a beverage. Although that would make it really awkward, because then I would have to stop filming, because having a drink in one hand and a camera in the other hand is just going to wind up causing trouble. Now I'm really not seeing anything to discuss in this video, which is making it seem very silly. And that girl just gave me a really weird look. Dollar store with various clothing. Tattoo place. I find tattoos to be a very interesting thing, because I like the idea of taking something that has had a really great effect on your life and sort of putting it on you, and I like the idea of tattoos that represent something. Like, one of my great aunts got a thistle on her ankle. I believe that was mostly rooted in her Scottish heritage. And that's really good. But the problem I have with tattoos is, where do you put them? Because, I mean, yes, there's a lot of various areas where you could theoretically put a tattoo, but I've already done a blog post about this, but some areas stretch, some areas, like, you can't admire for yourself, which sort of, to me, defeats one of the purposes of having a tattoo. I don't know, there's just some, what's the word? Not theoretical, but there's some problems in the execution of the theory. Anyway, I don't know, it's a great concept, I'm just not sure about the execution. Oh, karaoke place. I love karaoke. And this is one of those ones where you buy a room and you have karaoke for an hour, which I've never tried. I think that's an interesting concept. But our karaoke usually amounts to Uncle Paul bringing his setup and all of us singing in someone's living room. Which is fun in itself, because then you get as many songs as you want. But it's a little bit different because your audience is biased. Whereas other times I've sung in, like, a pub, and I've had a complete stranger come up to me and say, you know, you sung that really well, it's not an easy song to sing. I think that was when I did Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. So, I don't know. Interesting concept. Like, just depending on how you choose to do your karaoke. I need to show you these lamps, because these lamps are just awesome. It's a peacock. So that was cool. Oh, and there's more of them. Wonderful. Okay. Ooh, train station. Or ex-train station, rather, because there's no tracks around here. I hear church bells, though. I'm gonna turn this off until I think of something else interesting to say, because right now I just look like a weirdo. Okay, be right back.